Welcome to my channel. USA Coins 69. In this video I am going to tell you about the most expensive Lincoln Wheat Pennies of the United States of America, which is very old and very rare. Top 1. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history, capturing the attention of collectors worldwide. While the Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. currency since its introduction in 1909, certain years and mint marks hold special significance due to their rarity, minting errors, or historical importance. The 1944 penny stands out as one of the most valuable and sought-after coins, making it an exciting piece for collectors. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny features a right-facing profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Above Lincoln's head, the words, "In God We Trust," are inscribed, while "Liberty" is positioned to the left. The date, 1944, appears on the right, accompanied by the small D mint mark just below it, indicating it was minted in Denver. This classic design, first introduced in 1909, remains one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage. The reverse of the coin showcases the famous wheat ears design, which was used on Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958. The two wheat stalks frame the inscriptions, 1 cent, and United States of America, while E pluribus unum is displayed at the top. This design symbolizes agricultural prosperity and was intended to represent the strength and unity of the nation. The year 1944 was significant for U.S. coinage due to the ongoing World War II. During the war, the U.S. Mint experimented with alternative materials for pennies because copper was needed for military purposes. In 1943, pennies were struck from zinc-coated steel, but they were unpopular due to their tendency to rust and their resemblance to dimes. In 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to a copper-based composition, using recycled shell casings from the war. This makes the 1944 Lincoln penny historically unique, as it was part of the wartime effort. The Denver Mint produced a large number of 1944 pennies, over 430 million. However, while most of these coins are common, a small number have rare variations or minting errors that make them incredibly valuable. The key to identifying these special pennies lies in their condition, errors, or unique characteristics. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1944 penny is the D over S mint mark error. This occurs when a coin was originally intended for the San Francisco Mint, which uses the S mint mark, but the die was repurposed for the Denver Mint and had the D stamped over the original S. This type of overstrike error is highly desirable among collectors and significantly increases a coin's value. Another rare error involves pennies that were mistakenly struck on steel planchets from 1943 instead of the intended 1944 brass planchets. Since steel cents were supposed to be discontinued after 1943, any 1944 penny found on a steel planchet is an extraordinary rarity. These coins are magnetic, unlike the standard copper pennies, and their silver-gray appearance makes them easy to distinguish. The grading of the 1944 penny plays a crucial role in determining its worth. Coins are graded on a scale from pur, P1, to mint state, MS70, with the highest grades commanding premium prices. Red RDE pennies, which retain their original luster, are the most valuable, followed by red-brown, RB, and brown, BN, varieties. Uncirculated coins with no wear and sharp details are especially prized by collectors. Due to its historical significance, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny continues to be a highly desirable coin among numismatists. Many collectors seek out well-preserved examples, and those with rare errors or high-grade conditions can fetch astonishing prices at auctions. The combination of historical importance, unique composition, and minting variations makes this coin a true treasure. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the incredible value of a rare, high-grade 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you happen to own one in pristine condition or with unique characteristics, its value could reach an astonishing $177,520. Top 2. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds a special place in American numismatic history. While the Lincoln Penny series has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1909, certain years and variations have become highly sought after due to their rarity, errors, or pristine condition. The 1957 penny, though common in circulation, has some extraordinary variations that make it one of the most expensive Lincoln Wheat pennies ever discovered, turning it into a collector's dream. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny features the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the beloved 16th President of the United States. His right-facing profile is detailed and lifelike, with "In God We Trust" inscribed above his head. To the left, the word "Liberty" is clearly visible, and the date, 1957, appears on the right. If the coin has a mint mark, it would be found just below the year, indicating which U.S. mint facility produced it. The reverse of the coin is adorned with the iconic wheat ears design, which was used on Lincoln pennies from 1909 until 1958. Two detailed wheat stalks frame the inscriptions, 1 cent and United States of America, emphasizing the coin's denomination and its connection to the nation's identity. Above these inscriptions, the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, is present, which translates to, out of many one, a powerful motto representing the unity of the United States. The year 1957 was an important one in U.S. history, marked by significant political and technological developments. The country was in the midst of the Cold War, and the space race had begun following the launch of Sputnik by the Soviet Union. In the world of coinage, the Lincoln penny was still being struck in large numbers, but it was nearing the end of the wheat ears design era, which would be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. This historical context adds to the desirability of the 1957 penny. The Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint were responsible for producing the 1957 Lincoln penny. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 282 million coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint, represented by the small D mint mark, produced nearly 1 billion coins. Due to this high mintage, most 1957 pennies are not considered rare in average condition. However, certain errors, high-grade specimens, and unique varieties have made some of these pennies incredibly valuable. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice slightly off from the original position, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the inscriptions or images. A 1957 penny with clear doubling on Liberty, or In God We Trust, is a collector's dream and can command significant prices in the market. Another valuable variation involves off-center strikes, in which the coin's design is misaligned due to improper positioning during the minting process. The more off-center the design, while still keeping part of the date visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. Additionally, full red RD pennies from 1957 in pristine uncirculated condition are highly sought after. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, and a 1957 penny in MS67 or higher with a bright, original red color can fetch astonishing prices. Despite its high mintage, the historical significance, error varieties, and condition rarity of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny have made it a prized possession for collectors worldwide. Its status as one of the last years of the wheat penny design adds sentimental and numismatic value, making it an important piece of American coinage history. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the incredible value of a rare, high-grade 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you happen to own one in pristine condition or with a rare error, it could be worth an astonishing $157,520. Top 3. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most talked about coins in American numismatic history. While the Lincoln Penny series has been in circulation for over a century, certain years and variations have gained legendary status among collectors. The 1944 penny is no exception, as it holds secrets that make it one of the most expensive and sought-after coins ever produced. Designed by Victor David Brenner, The obverse of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny showcases the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This right-facing profile has remained largely unchanged since its debut in 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Above Lincoln's head, the phrase, "In God We Trust," stands as a testament to the nation's values. To the left, the word "Liberty" is clearly visible, while the year 1944 appears on the right. Below the date, a mint mark may be present, depending on where the coin was struck. Flipping the coin over, the reverse features the classic wheat ears design, which was a staple of Lincoln pennies from 1909 until 1958. Two detailed wheat stalks frame the inscriptions, 1 cent, and United States of America. Above, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, is displayed, translating to out of many one, symbolizing the unity of the nation. The year 1944 was a significant time in history. The world was in the midst of World War II, and the United States was heavily involved in the fight for freedom. Because of wartime metal shortages, the U.S. Mint had experimented with different materials for coin production. In 1943, pennies were made of steel with a zinc coating instead of the usual copper, as copper was needed for military supplies. However, the steel pennies were met with widespread dissatisfaction due to their tendency to rust and their resemblance to dimes. In response, the U.S. Mint returned to copper in 1944, using recycled shell casings from the war. These pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving them a distinct reddish-brown color when newly minted. The transition back to copper meant that 1944 pennies were produced in large quantities across 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Despite their high mintage, certain variations and errors make the 1944 penny one of the most valuable in existence. One of the most famous rarities is the 1944 steel penny. Due to leftover steel planchets from the previous year, a few 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck in steel instead of copper. These ultra-rare coins are among the most expensive Lincoln pennies ever discovered. Another highly sought-after variety is the 1944 D/S over mint mark error. This occurs when a San Francisco mint mark, S, was mistakenly punched onto the coin before being corrected with a Denver, D, mint mark. These errors are extremely rare and valuable to collectors. Collectors also look for high-grade 1944 pennies with original luster. Coins are graded on a scale from pur, P1, to mint state, MS70, with higher grades commanding premium prices. A full red, RD, 1944 penny in MS67 or higher can be worth an astonishing amount due to its exceptional preservation and rarity. The demand for 1944 pennies remains strong, as collectors appreciate their historical significance and the possibility of discovering a rare variety. Whether it's an era coin, a high-grade specimen, or a unique minting anomaly, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny has captivated the numismatic world for decades. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the incredible value of a rare, high-grade 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you own one in pristine condition or with a rare error, it could be worth an unbelievable $167,520. Top 4. The 1977 Lincoln Penny is a fascinating coin that has captured the interest of collectors worldwide. While at first glance, it may seem like just another ordinary penny, certain rare variations and errors make it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. The story behind this coin is one of history, design, minting details, and the thrill of the numismatic hunt. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the 1977 penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Above Lincoln's head, the national motto, "In God We Trust," is prominently displayed. To the left of his profile, the word, "Liberty," is inscribed, symbolizing the core values of the nation. To the right, the date, 1977, is clearly visible, along with the mint mark, if applicable. The reverse of the coin showcases the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears motif. This impressive structure, dedicated to Lincoln's legacy, stands at the center of the coin's reverse. Above it, United States of America is inscribed with E pluribus unum. Just below, a Latin phrase meaning out of many, one. The denomination, 1 cent, appears at the bottom, reaffirming the coin's value. The year 1977 was a notable period in American history. The country was experiencing political and economic shifts, with Jimmy Carter beginning his presidency. Inflation was a growing concern, and the cost of producing coins remained a challenge for the U.S. Mint. The Lincoln penny was still composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that had been used for decades but was becoming increasingly expensive due to rising copper prices. This would eventually lead to a major change in 1982, when the composition was altered to a copper-plated zinc core. Minting took place in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Philadelphia and Denver struck business strike pennies for circulation, while San Francisco primarily produced proof coins for collectors. Millions of these pennies were minted, but despite the high production numbers, certain rare varieties and errors make some of these coins highly valuable today. One of the most sought-after rarities from 1977 is the double-die obverse variety. This error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice in slightly different positions, leading to visible doubling on the inscriptions or Lincoln's portrait. Coins with strong doubling, especially on the date or the word Liberty, are highly desirable among collectors. Another valuable variation is the 1977 S-proof penny with cameo or deep cameo contrast. These coins were specially struck with polished dies, giving them a stunning mirrored background with frosted details. The highest graded proof specimens can command impressive prices at auctions. Condition plays a crucial role in determining the value of a 1977 Lincoln penny. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, with the highest grades being the most valuable. Red RD pennies, which retain their original copper luster, are worth significantly more than their brown, BN, or red-brown, RB, counterparts. A well-preserved, full red 1977 penny in mint state can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For collectors, the 1977 Lincoln penny represents more than just its face value. It is a piece of American history, a reflection of changing economic conditions, and a reminder of the intricate craftsmanship involved in coin production. Whether it's an era coin, a high-grade specimen, or a rare mint variation, the thrill of discovering a valuable 1977 penny continues to excite numismatists worldwide. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the astonishing value of the rarest 1977 Lincoln penny. If you happen to own one in pristine condition or with a highly sought-after error, it could be worth an incredible $55,311. Top 5. The 1980 Lincoln penny is a fascinating coin that holds a special place in American numismatic history. While it may appear to be just another ordinary penny in circulation, certain rare variations and minting errors make it highly valuable among collectors. This small copper coin carries a legacy that dates back decades, with a design that has remained iconic and a composition that was soon to change in the years following its minting. The Lincoln penny series began in 1909. Marking the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. The obverse of the 1980 penny carries the same classic portrait of Lincoln, with the inscription, "In God We Trust," placed above his head. To the left, the word, Liberty, represents the nation's enduring values, while to the right, the date, 1980, is clearly visible, often accompanied by a mint mark denoting where the coin was struck. The reverse side of the coin displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears motif. This iconic structure, dedicated to Lincoln's legacy, is positioned at the center of the reverse, with the words, United States of America, inscribed above. Just below, the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, emphasizes the unity of the nation, and at the bottom, the denomination, 1 cent, reinforces the coin's value. By 1980, the United States was experiencing economic changes, including inflation and rising commodity prices. The cost of producing pennies was increasing due to the high price of copper, which would eventually lead to a shift in composition in 1982. However, the 1980 Lincoln penny was still minted using the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy, making it one of the last years to retain this classic composition before the introduction of copper-plated zinc pennies. The 1980 penny was produced at 3 major minting facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S, for proof coins. While millions of these pennies were minted, not all were created equal. Certain errors and high-grade specimens have become highly desirable among collectors. One of the most valuable varieties from 1980 is the doubled die obverse penny. This rare minting error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing a noticeable doubling of the inscriptions or Lincoln's profile. These errors are extremely sought after, especially when the doubling is prominent on the date, or the word Liberty. Another key factor in determining a 1980 penny's value is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, with higher grades commanding significantly higher prices. A penny in mint state with full red RD luster is far more valuable than one that has turned brown, BN, or red-brown, RB, over time. Coins preserved in pristine condition, especially those graded MS67 or higher, can be worth a substantial amount. Additionally, 1980 proof pennies struck at the San Francisco Mint are highly sought after by collectors. These coins were specially struck with polished dies, giving them a sharp contrast between the frosted design elements and the mirrored background. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast, DCM, are particularly valuable, especially in flawless condition. For numismatists, the 1980 Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of currency. It is a reflection of American history, economic shifts, and the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. Whether it's an era coin, a rare mint mark variety, or a high-grade specimen, the search for valuable 1980 pennies continues to excite collectors around the world. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: the incredible value of the rarest 1980 Lincoln penny. If you happen to own one in exceptional condition or with a highly sought-after error, it could be worth an astonishing $45,311.